Okay, look, I know it's in the title, but seriously, get out of this video if you have not seen Split. I need to talk about this. It's Unbreakable 1.5! I have wanted to say this for days, and every minute that I couldn't, holy shit, it fueled up inside. Shyamalan did a super villain origin story, and what is so great about this? We now have the revival of one of the most underappreciated movies of all time, one of my favorite movies of all time, undoubtedly Shyamalan's best film. I am so happy now! Okay, before I continue, I gotta let you guys know that I didn't know this until the end, and by the end of the film, before I realized what was really happening, I was kind of pissed at Shyamalan. I'll go into a little bit more of that later. Let me just recreate the moment when I realized what was really going on. Oh shit. Oh shit. That smile on my face when the Unbreakable score starts playing at the end of Split. And when this theme came on at the end of the film, I was like, Shyamalan had some fucking balls. Not only does he have great storytelling in this film, but he has brave storytelling in this film. The guy had the balls. After so many years of disappointments, after so many years of shitty, crappy-ass films, after so many years of lazy-ass stories and lazy-ass storytelling, the guy had the balls to make a thriller, a slow-burn thriller, where you don't get your answers until the very end of the film. And he had the balls to ask you, come along on this journey. Watch the movie. The answers will come in due time. Shyamalan had the balls to make you watch a psychological thriller about a guy with dissociative identity disorder, and then out of a sudden having this guy grow veins in his body, become more muscular and stronger, and start climbing on fucking walls. I'm going to be honest, when that scene came on, I was like, God damn it, Shyamalan. God fucking damn it. But then the end of the movie comes, and we start hearing that score, and we get Bruce Willis revealed. And we don't know what Dunn has been doing in his life. We don't know what he's working on. We don't know if he keeps having the same job. We don't know where his family is. We don't know what happened to Mr. Glass. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I fucking love this film. I talked a little bit in my spoilers-free review about how you have to know Shyamalan's filmography, because I didn't want to tell you guys, you have to have seen Unbreakable, guys, to understand and appreciate this film for what it is. We'll talk about Unbreakable near the end of this video, but let's go into Split. Look at the posters, look at the titles, and let's think of the dialogue in this film. We have a conversation between Dr. Fletcher and a friend of hers, and he tells her that she is crazy because she believes that these split personalities are kind of a evolution of the human, are kind of a progression of humanity as we know it, the unlocking of the brain, the unlocking of human limits. And we have Kevin and his split personalities as they come onto becoming the Beast. They recognize it as powers, abilities as well, and they keep on talking about the broken. We should have seen it coming! But I love what this movie does because of its characters. And its characters are what makes this movie great. And Shyamalan, working to his best ability, doing what he does best, is what makes this movie great. I talked about the amazing visual storytelling that Shyamalan has in this film. And he does. Each and every single personality has a different kind of score, has a different kind of camera shot, has a different kind of accent, of look, of demeanor, of mannerism. I just love the work of Shyamalan and McAvoy into the character of Kevin and into this world. I love every single character that he played. I love every little mannerism that you see him portray in this movie. I just love seeing the range of this guy in one single film. His moments as being Hedwig, his moments as being Miss Patrice, and his moments as being the Beast. Those are some of the moments where in some instances he really goes over the top, just over that line of amazing and over the top, and he goes over it a little bit, but James McAvoy has such a gravitas to him, and Shyamalan doesn't change the flow, the tone of the movie at all, that it simply works. There's no other way to put it. It simply works. And I love that his character by the end, he is still alive, he's still out there. This is a supervillain origin story. And in fact, the supervillain only emerges in this film because the supervillain is only the Beast. I'm not saying the other ones are heroes or saints, but the supervillain is clearly the Beast. I'm going to be honest right now, when the Beast first came onto the screen, when he ran off, when we saw the veins in his chest, we saw his voice, when we saw him climbing walls, literally, when we saw him taking shots and surviving and not being hurt, I was like, oh, come the fuck on, Shyamalan. This was being so good. It was a good movie in its own right. Then I was kind of pissed. But then the Unbreakable score. And then I realized that the little world building that we had here, even though we had it mostly in Unbreakable. This is a superhero movie, and this one comes right in the cusp, right in the spectrum of the blowing up of the superhero genre, of the superhero movie, of comic books, of pop culture and geek culture. This is a movie that will make people, I hope, look back, if they don't know what Unbreakable is, look back into that film and see it, and watch it, and want an Unbreakable 3 or 2, however you want to call it. This is a film that not only puts people who don't necessarily like superhero movies kind of appreciating because of the unique perspective and feel that Shyamalan gives to it. The best thing about these movies is that no matter if you know the twist or not, no matter if you know that this is a superhero film kind of, you can still look at it as being a very realistic movie. Take apart the climbing of the walls, the super strength. Those are little details because 1 hour and 30 minutes, you have one of the most realistic depictions of dissociative identity disorder. You have a real depiction of 3 girls being kidnapped by a crazy dude. You have a real depiction of a psychiatrist trying to help a man with this disorder. You have a real depiction of 3 teenage girls trying to survive this incredibly stressful situation. And Shyamalan as well, he knew how to balance the horror and thriller elements of this and the psychological analysis of the character with some humor add onto it. And natural humor at that, something that feels organic. These characters would say that. Miss Patrice would act those ways. She would put flowers on the ears of the girls. She would comb their hairs. She would have those expressions like, ooh. I love those expressions about Miss Patrice. They are lovely. And let's talk about the parallel that we have between Casey and Kevin. I want to see more of Casey. I didn't think the flashbacks were the best way of portraying her backstory. I would have liked to see her have even more conversations with Hedwig than she already had in the film, in parallel with conversations that Kevin or Barry or Dennis would have with Dr. Fletcher. We would see those conversations as Casey having with Hedwig, revealing her backstory, because now we have a true parallel between these two characters. Both of them are broken. They were mistreated. They were abused in different ways. But now we gotta ask ourselves, since Kevin evolved, since being broken and mistreated and going through rough situations in life, which is a spectrum that I love that Shyamalan uses to create his superheroes and villains now, I want to see what happens with Casey. In the end of the film, when the police officer goes to her and tells her that her uncle is here, you have this look on Casey's face that can be interpreted in various ways. One of them is, I'm not going back to that son of a bitch. I'm going to rat him out right now. Another one is Casey thinking, I survived this monster and I'm going back to that? Fuck no. You have another way of thinking, and that is Casey wondering what is worse, being trapped in there with Hedwig and Miss Patrice and Dennis and the Beast, or going back to her abusive uncle. Or you have the hypothesis of having Casey now realizing that she has evolved. If this is what happens to every single broken human being, you have Casey maybe gaining some abilities now. She is a true survivor. That's what I love about her character most. She is a survivor. The score is very eerie, very nerve-wracking, but it is a very Unbreakable kind of score. If you listen to the score by James Newton Howard from Unbreakable, and you then listen to this new score, even not counting the Unbreakable theme by the end, you realize the similarities there. The kind of coming in, creeping into a scene, and then crawling back out into the shadows, and then seamlessly coming back in and whatnot. I love how the score in this was handled. I knew the cinematography was excellent, and then after seeing the movie for the first time, because I saw it again today, I went to search who was the cinematographer. It was the guy from It Follows. Well done. And I love the similarities between Dunn and Kevin. Kevin in this film, and the Beast more precisely, he is unbreakable. That's the thing, and I love the kind of commentary that makes to a lot of people's nitpicks about superhero films, where you have the hero and you have the villain, who's basically the same guy as the hero, but he's a villain. In here, we get kind of an explanation to that, even in the titles of the films. Unbreakable, Split, even the freaking posters. And then you have this guy who's unbeatable, who can't get shot, who can't get wounded. But you have his name, Kevin Wendell Crumb. Let's talk about Unbreakable. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is Shyamalan's best film of all time, in my opinion. When we have Bruce Willis saying Mr. Glass, and we have him with a tag with his name, we gotta wonder, what is he doing now? What is Dunn doing nowadays? Is he with his family? Where is his family? Where is Glass? Is he dead? Is he out of jail? Is he still in jail? And what is Dunn doing? And what is he going to do about this? Is he going to team up with Casey? Is he even going to try and find her? Will we ever see Casey again? Will he go actively after the Horde, or the Beast, however you want to call it? I actually think the Horde is a fan-fucking-tastic supervillain name. How come no one ever thought of the Horde for a supervillain, or a supervillain team even? This can go in many different routes. We can have her team up with Bruce Willis, we can have her team up with Mr. Glass, and we can have her just twisting the fuck around and be the sidekick to the supervillain, the Beast, or as the people are calling him, the Horde. Now, the con against this, as well as the movie is doing at the box office, as much praise as it is getting, Unbreakable was a box office flop. It's more of a cult classic, and not many people know about this film. I went to see this film again for a second time today, saw it with my girlfriend. She liked the movie fine, but she never saw Unbreakable, you know, so she still thinks that there are kind of too many silly elements in that film. And Split, which makes this situation complicated. This is a time for Shyamalan to see if Split does well. This is a time to see if Unbreakable re-emerges in the talks amongst Hollywood, amongst fans, amongst the cult fanatics. This is a time for Shyamalan to analyze his work, and how his work is getting talked about, how his work is getting received, because I want to see more of it, and I hope the rest of the world wants to see more of it. I told my girlfriend to watch Unbreakable. I hope she watches it, because I want now the continuation of this. We got a superhero origin story magnificently told. We got a supervillain origin story that really brings on the scares and puts on a new perspective for people who actually suffer from this disorder. But now we start the conversation truly. Let me know, beautiful geekies, what you thought of Split, and let me know as well what you thought of Unbreakable now that we can talk about it, and now you know how this shirt fits so well into the review. Which one do you like more, Unbreakable or Split? Do you like supervillain origin stories or superhero origin stories better? And let me know as well, what would your supervillain or superhero name be? Don't forget to like this video and share with your beautiful friends. Tell them to click subscribe and the bell, and come join the beautiful geeky community where we can be geeky united. Thank you so much for watching, my beautiful geekies. You guys are the freaking best. I love you all. Stay beautiful, stay geeky. Yeah!